good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time. That's right. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock. It is May 15th. And I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick and get to my in-studio guest because I'm so excited. I haven't seen him in so long. All right. So Friday, I filmed a short film with my on-screen husband for like the fourth or fifth time, Frank Fiella. Bobby has a picture of that. We filmed it. There we are. We're a married couple out having dinner. That's all I'm going to say about it. We had a lot of fun. Thank you to Nikki for casting us, Silva. It was great. I love working with Frank. He's crazy. He's fun. And and he was always playing my husband lately. Saturday, I actually stayed home and just chilled and relaxed. And as I'm flipping through the channels, what comes on PBS? Fiddler on the Roof. Now, I love Fiddler on the Roof. I actually did it years ago as a play with a bunch of friends for community theater. And, I forgot Starsky from Starsky and Hutch was in that. And I'm watching it. I'm like singing all the songs. And it was great. So that was my Saturday night. Sunday was Mother's Day. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day yesterday. We went to Zona right here in Massapequa Park. There we are. So you have the big guy on the left is my daughter's future husband, Steve LaRose. And then you have my daughter and me and her future mother-in-law and so on and so forth. Rose's sister, brother, parents. It was a great time at Zona. It's nice when the whole familia gets together. That's the bottom line. Unfortunately, my mom is still in Florida. She's coming up on the 20th, so I can't wait to see her. Bobby has a picture of my mom, so let's just put up the quick pic of me and my mother. Look.
Lovely woman.
And she just turned 85. Yes, God bless. I love you, and I can't wait to see you, Mommy.
Looks great.
Doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so listen, that was my weekend, and I'm, again, so glad that you're tuning in tonight. Please like the show. Please share it. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and then the show goes to Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, everywhere podcasts can be heard, and every Saturday at 11 a.m. on channel 20 for people on Long Island who get Optimum. All right, so listen, I'm so excited because I have Steve Alleva here, and Steve is an actor, he's a director, he's a writer, he's a stand-up comedian, and I haven't seen you since friggin' before COVID.
Before COVID,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Welcome, Steve Alleva.
Oh, it's I'm excited to be with you and your legion of fans. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here. No, listen, we've been wanting to do this for a while, and we had to coordinate. You were busy. You're always doing something.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of research on my guests, but I got some stuff on you. But you're not on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
So you have to tell everybody, where did you grow up? Because I don't know if you're a Long Island boy or if you came, if you were transplanted.
Excellent question. I'm from Queens originally.
Are
you from Queens?
Yeah, Bayside.
Oh, all right, from Flushing. We might have crossed paths on Bell Boulevard along the way.
Yes, Bell or Franny Lowe.
Yes, very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I grew up Flushing, Bayside.
What
a little
high
bit
school
in the Bronx.
Did you go to?
I went to Archbishop Malloy.
Oh, okay. You went to Malloy.
Yeah. You might have seen a very awkward Steve Alleva somewhere at one of those dances, maybe. Wow,
that's so cool.
Trying to get the courage to talk to someone at the dance.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. It's not easy because I know when I was in a club back in the day, I didn't care. But I would approach a man and say, would you like to dance?
Mhm.
And when they said no, it stings a little bit. So I give kudos to men because, you know, you're the majority that does it constantly. You know, I just did it sporadically,
But
you know?
you know, a lot of times it's not because the guy didn't like you. It's because maybe he doesn't like to dance. You know, like
This is
maybe,
true. This is
maybe
true.
just,
This
you
is
know,
true. But a girl came up to my cousin once, and I won't say exactly what she said, but I will paraphrase it. She said, would you like to dance? And he said, no. And she goes, honey, I'm not looking to sleep with you. I'm just looking to dance with you. And he danced with her.
all right.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's good. It's a good
Nice.
line.
Yeah, it's a good
It
line.
worked.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, she took the honest and blunt approach.
She did.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I think. I mean, I didn't dance at all growing up on Bell Boulevard.
Really?
Anything like
You
that.
didn't go to like Avante or
Yeah, we did.
Elephas?
Yeah,
Or
Elephas.
do you remember?
I was one of the first places. I'm glad it's closed now, but it's a long time ago. But
Yeah.
like we went there when we were young, and
Yeah.
like younger than the age. You
Well, I
know,
couldn't get in. I didn't have fake ID back then.
for some reason my velour shirt, you know, and my Sergio Valente jeans, and all my 15, 17, 18-year-old friends, they let us in. But like we didn't know that the older people went out later, so we were there at like
Yes.
7:30.
Oh, you were there
know,
early.
Yeah, because we didn't know. You know, we just started bouncing around.
Did you ever go to Lakeville Manor?
No, Lakeville Manor.
Yeah,
No.
it was right off the LIE and Lakeville Road. But I was there like every Saturday night. It
Oh,
was
is
like
that where a
more
lot of like very nice cars in the parking lot
Yes.
and everything?
Yeah.
I think that was a little bit. It was a nice place. My friends
Yeah,
and I
because
went
either
there.
there were a couple of places in Queens, right? Well, you either went to Long Island, you came to Long Island, or you went into the city.
Hmm.
You know.
Listen, if anyone asked me to dance on Bell Boulevard in the 90s, I didn't really dance much, you know, so I apologize. But, you know, if maybe we could have just talked, you know, if you didn't ask me to dance. Or,
So, Steve, where did
know.
you go after Malloy?
I went to Stony Brook for 2 years
Okay.
in Long Island. And
what'd you want to be when you grew up? Because you are a retired
yeah,
firefighter, fireman. You served, and thank you for your service, by the way.
you're welcome.
You were in the city. You were in the city, right?
Yeah, I was in the city. I was a fireman for
Yeah.
23 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's life is funny because sometimes you have a direction right after high school.
Right. Like
Right?
you kind of knew maybe what you wanted to major in when you were at Stony Brook.
I was boxing a lot back then. I was in a boxing club.
Oh,
So
really?
instead of like, there was somebody off campus started a boxing club.
Uh-huh.
So I would show up to classes like with black eyes and stuff.
Oh my God.
And so I was really into boxing and not as much as into school, you know, as I
Right,
could have. I
right.
got by,
Yeah.
you know, but it was a great experience being away for 2 years, like anyone who goes away.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I want to do. And like a lot of people don't know what they
They
want to do.
don't.
Sometimes later or earlier you find out. Then while I was still in college, I was going to Lehman in the Bronx.
Okay.
My friends from Flushing and Bayside,
Yeah.
a group of us who were still friends, they said, we're taking the fireman test. And sometimes in life, I don't know if you've had, I think you may have, I'm going to think you may have, you know, the old saying, like the light bulb moment
Yeah.
or the aha moment, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There's only one or two, you know, a handful of times in my life that happened.
Right.
And I hope everybody that happens to you
Yeah,
somewhere
it
along the
happens.
way.
It definitely happens.
Yeah. And that was it. And I
Yeah.
said, that's what I want to be. But I was still, I got out of college and I was working for Smith Barney, which is a, you know, brokerage firm.
Yes.
And the whole time I was waiting to trade my suits in for fireman gear. And eventually I got called. So,
Really?
yeah. So,
Wow.
Yep. And I retired.
23 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And you retired a while now.
Yeah. 8.5 years now.
Yeah.
I still dream about it. It's one of those jobs that I wouldn't call it a job. You know, it's a calling, if you will.
Yes, definitely.
Certain things in your life stay with you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and you know they're part of who you are.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah.
So I want to ask you because again, actor, director, writer, comedian. What came first, the acting or the comedy?
You know, Theresa, can I say one thing? I want to be honest with you, with the people
You
watching.
can say whatever you want, Steve.
Actor, writer, comic, absolutely. But I only directed the one
I know, and we're gonna get into
I'm
it.
gonna be honest
but you
with
still
everybody.
directed it. You
I
still
did,
wrote
yeah.
it.
I
You
did
still
wrote it.
produced it. You
Right.
edited it. Hello, you
It
did
counts. It
everything.
counts.
Yes, it counts.
Thank you. I'm just.
Of course, it
all right,
counts.
thanks.
But I want to know what came. Was it the acting that came before the comedy?
Yeah, it was the acting. My mother had said to me, why don't you try, go take some acting classes. While I was a fireman, I was
Really?
about 5 years into being a
Wow.
fireman. I
Really?
took some classes at Queens College,
Yeah, I went
and
there.
then
Yeah.
here and there after that. So the acting came first, but not long after, Billy Bingo, my irrepressible friend from the fire department, started a fireman comedy night.
Oh, how
That's
cool.
where that started.
Very, very cool. All right, so you studied and you trained at HB Studios,
Mhm,
and Jay Bexon Studios,
mhm,
LR acting workshops, the Creative House,
mhm,
American Art Theater. I mean, you dabbled for a while.
mhm, mhm,
Do you have like there's nothing like live theater,
mhm.
and
Yes.
it's the same thing like when you do stand up, that quick,
Yeah.
accolades that you get and everyone reacting to what you do,
Yeah.
and then now you've done acting, you've done it all basically. Does your heart, lay in a certain spot as far as, what you enjoy doing,
Yeah. I think you have certain things that just connect you more. I've always been a funny guy since kindergarten. I wish I can get a hold of that kindergarten report card because it exists that said Steven's very smart, but he's the class clown. I think a lot of comics probably have something like that along the
Yes,
way,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I was always funny, thank God. But doing stand-up's a whole different. It's
Oh
a whole
yeah,
different animal.
yeah,
Being
yeah,
funny and being funny on stage, two different things.
absolutely.
But I really love acting. I
Yeah,
love acting, and
yeah.
yeah, I guess because it's always different.
You know what? It just shocks me that your mom is the one that asked you if you wanted to take acting
Well,
lessons.
she knew my personality.
Yeah.
We probably talked about it,
I
and
mean,
she
my
got
parents
me.
did too, but they weren't like, because I wanted to go to high school performing arts. I wanted to go into the acting, and they were like totally against it. They just no. That's why it's refreshing to hear, that
But,
your mom actually suggested it to you.
but I think I was a fireman. She knew I wasn't going to stop being a fireman.
No,
Maybe
you
she was.
had no, I get it.
Yeah.
No, for me it was different. It's the oldest girl, a Sicilian household. I was,
Ah,
I had to do everything first, be the icebreaker, and like, it was hard. It was strict.
it's a hard, and they might have thought that you're choosing a very that the
Yeah,
it's a big
yeah,
question mark in
yeah,
that career. There's a
yeah,
lot of instability and a
yeah.
lot of uncertainty. So
Right.
they would just keeping
Right.
an eye
No, I
on
get
you.
it. I totally get it. And then I worked for Local 3, the electrical union
What'd
for
you do?
I was in the ADM division, the administrative division. So I
Wow.
got to work on job sites.
Yeah.
So I worked at like a lot of the hotels, like the Riga Royal, the St. Regis, the Essex House.
Mhm.
And then the worst, nastiest job I was ever on was when they were building Metro Tech in Brooklyn.
I know it well.
It was nasty
Fire
because
department headquarters.
there was no bathroom. I mean,
Oh,
men
no.
can go behind a pole. I had to go across the street to the Chinese restaurant.
Oh no.
And it was the third sub-cellar. It was nasty. It was
Porta
the worst.
potties are very
Oh, it was
unforgiving
horrible.
places. Oh.
It was bad. It
Wow.
was so bad. But but it was a good job,
Yeah.
good benefits and
Were you a member of Local 3?
yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. IBEW. I am.
Oh, I love it.
Paid my dues, did what I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I had my daughter and I was home. I was home with her. And where we got to go now? We're going to take my first break. So don't go away. More with Steve Alleva when we come back.
Jack, put your phone away. We're having dinner.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hi, how you doing?
What can I get you?
you guys want appetizers?
For some reason, I just got a craving for smoked meat.
Will you order something already? The menu hasn't changed. You looked at it 3 times.
I don't know what I want yet.
I wanted chicken, but I think it's blackened, so I'll just have a burger.
How'd you like that cooked?
Medium.
Do you have any specials?
Specials? Boss, what are specials?
What's the matter? You don't know the specials?
Look at this smoke.
What smoke?
We gotta get these dumps clean.
Nah, they're fine.
You know what? We're just gonna take our order to go, okay?
In business since 2003, MCN Duct Cleaning is the result of many years of research and continuing education, realizing the need to provide a safer and cleaner environment for families on Long Island. MCN services both residential and commercial properties by cleaning dryer vents, fireplaces, HVAC systems, and so much more. This not only improves air quality, but it could also reduce your energy bills by making things run more efficiently. So, if you want to make your house or business safer and cut down on your bills in the process, give our friend Matt over at MCN a call now.
Is that steak well done?
Maybe call a little bit sooner than these guys did.
Well, hi there, Theresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Theresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I want to say hi to Ann and Michael and Greg. Thank you for watching the show. Please like it, please share it. Tea Time is here live every Monday night, 8 o'clock. And I have my friend Steve Alleva with me. He's an actor. He is a director and a writer and a stand-up comedian. And so now we just found out before the break that the acting came before the stand-up and served in for the New York City Fire Department for 23 years, you said?
23 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a mutual, that was the commercial, by the way, for MCN Duct Cleaning that we did. And it was a lot of fun. Frank Fiella again played my husband.
Yes.
And you played a worker there. And it was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
We know
Anyway.
that couple, that Frank Theresa combination.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And I think like this past Friday was like the fifth time we're playing. I don't know. We're in this thing called It's Love Bro coming out in June. It's going to be at the Belmore Theater. He plays my husband. So anyway, I digress a little bit, but you know, your mom had suggested acting, which I find totally refreshing. And I wanted to know, so what was your first professional acting gig?
Oh, wow. Good question. Well, when like a lot of actors, when they start, I did a lot of background firefighter stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
Cop, firefighter, all the the NYPD Blue. And,
Right.
And back then it was, remember Third Watch?
Yes,
Was
love
one of
the show.
Yep. So they used to use a lot of firefighters.
Yes.
And then in 2004, I Rescue Me with Dennis Leary.
Yes, you were on
And
Rescue Me. You played a firefighter.
Played a firefighter for
It's a stretch.
there was it was a very fine area that I had zoned in on, but he used a core group of firefighters, the guys in the background they used to see watching the fire trucks.
Right.
It was all featured background stuff. It was all background stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he used to actually, over the course of the run, which was 2004 to 2010 or 11,
Right.
he would give some of the firefighters speaking parts.
Right.
So I
So you
believe
got
that was it. I got one line one year. Yeah.
We were just talking about one-liners.
One line, and they
One line.
it was the one where
Don't tell me
actually
they edited it out.
they didn't edit it out, but and I'm not going to take it personally, but it was a fire scene, but my face was smoked out, so I don't think
What?
But it happens. If you know me, you say that might have been Steve's voice,
Oh
but I had nothing
my
to
God.
prove to my family and friends that I was on the show.
Oh,
But
that is so
I was,
funny.
yeah. But it was a great run.
Yeah.
Working there with with that group of firefighters and all the actors,
Right.
good people.
So you also did you did a lot of shorts, and one of them was Traffic Stop,
Mhm.
and you played a police officer.
Correct.
So that was
Yeah.
cool. Tell me about that.
A lot of uniforms.
Yeah,
right?
I
Cop,
see that.
firefighter.
Yeah.
That was produced and directed by Ben Fiore, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
actually a
Yes,
retired
I
police
know
officer.
Ben. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
he had cast me as a police officer in that. That's my niece Gabby. That's her favorite Uncle Stephen film.
Oh,
She likes
really?
traffic stuff. Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah, it was a good short. It was drama,
Yeah.
and yeah, I enjoyed that.
But wait. In 2019, you also played a doctor, right?
In
The Plane Doctor?
in the Plan Doctor,
Plane Doctor.
Ben Fiore's film. Yeah.
Plane.
Yeah, I played a doctor, and
See that?
that was a was a twist in that short. If you can find it online, it's a pretty cool twist in that short. Yeah, I played a doctor there. So I was starting to, thanks to Ben, I was starting to branch out from the firefighter cop. Played a
Well,
doctor.
doctors have a type of uniform too, when you think about it, right?
True. Yep.
You know, and so that leads us up to Don Garbaggio.
Yes.
Am I saying it right? I'm saying
Yes,
it right.
you
right?
are.
Don
Yeah.
Garbaggio.
Don Garbaggio.
And this is something that you wrote and you directed, you edited, you did everything with this. This was your baby.
Mhm.
And I want to know, did you write this over COVID? Or was or was it before?
It was done before COVID. Yeah, it was done before COVID.
And this is based on your stepdad,
Yeah.
Sal.
Yeah.
It's my brother's name. But who is a New York City sanitation foreman.
Correct. Yeah.
So tell me how this happened, because again, Pat Marone, Frank Fayella,
Yes.
and it's the three of you. Bobby's got a pick. There you are. Look.
Beautiful. It's the
that?
one film that you didn't play Pat's wife in,
No,
but maybe the
you mean
sequel,
Frank.
maybe the sequel, Theresa,
Hey, you might need a receptionist.
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
right.
You might need someone to answer phones.
You actually were, if we write
well,
it
you'd like
again.
to take it into a series, right? You want to take
Yeah,
it into
or
a series.
do another one once
Continue,
it got done.
to be continued.
Yeah, you were. We thought of you for our next one, so
That's sweet of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how that all like popped into your head, and you said, "I'm going to take, start writing."
Good question.
I try, Steve. I
No,
try.
Theresa, you're on everything. You do your research. I love it. It's where do we draw comment from our lives, right?
Yes,
And
life experiences.
Life experiences, acting.
Yeah.
Sal, he was my stepfather and larger than life character, and I used to do kind of a pun type joke in my act years ago about he was obsessed with the Godfather, like a lot of people are. A lot of us are.
Right.
We love the movie. He loved the whole lifestyle, and I used to say, Sal, he wouldn't hurt a fly,
right?
But he loved that, so I used to call him Don Garbaggio, playfully, and I would throw it into my act sometimes.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
I says one day I'll write something based on him about a person who is very obsessed, or it's sanitation is their whole lifestyle.
Yes,
there's their whole life. Being a garbage person, garbage man, is his whole, and their whole identity, and everything kind of flows through that. So I sat for a few months, right, or maybe 6 months, and I says I'll get it done.
And you had Pat and Frank in mind.
Pat and Frank, yeah. But whenever you write anything or doing stand-up, it's all discovery along the way.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But it's funny when you mentioned Married to Pat, because Pat actually, we did. Oh my God! It was so long ago. It'll come back to me because that's how old it is. I played Pat's wife. In
Finally, you're not playing Frank's wife.
No, but oh my gosh, Good Friday. Sal Ranella.
Yes.
Good Friday. I play Pat's one of the mob bosses, and I play 1970s mob boss wife, and so that was fun. Look, they're all of you are great to work with, and
he's mentioned
but how
that film
funny
a lot.
Is that? And not for nothing, you guys just did a show this past Saturday in Jersey.
Pat and I did.
Because he posted a picture of you guys in the car
on the way there.
On the way there.
Yeah, with Pat Gagliardi and Eddie Fayco. Yeah, we went out and did.
I would have went. I would have came because I ended up watching Fiddler on the Roof, but it was a free night for me. You know what I'm saying?
Paul was the Fiddler on the Roof, the original one. Was that Paul Glazer, the curly haired Starsky and Hutch? Was it, or the David
Paul Michael Glazer?
Paul Michael Glazer,
yeah, he
right?
Played Starsky.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
I was like, wow, I forgot he was in that movie.
Wow.
But it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of good songs, a lot of one-liners that was so funny.
You sang in it? You were singing?
I did.
Yeah.
I sang. I'm not like a singer per se, but I could get away
No,
with, you know,
yeah,
holding
yeah.
a note or two.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about you? Do you sing?
No, you know your limitations, right? I know my limitations. Yeah,
All right, all right,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Did you have capazios back in the day when you
I
danced?
might have, yeah.
Because I know I
Yeah,
did.
I might have, yeah.
All right, just checking. But so it takes you about 6 months or so to
Yeah,
write it.
yeah. You know, you stop, you start. Like anything, life gets in the way,
Yeah.
right? But and you go in a different direction. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of that. The one thing I won't do again is I'll have someone help me out next time because I did everything from location to catering to finding. You don't know
How
until
hard
you
was
see
it
it.
finding
It's very
locations?
hard, right? Because you don't know what you're necessarily looking for.
Right.
And Frank Fiala, right? I said to him, I don't have Facebook, but it just shows you
No,
have
he's
to
not on
network in the
Facebook.
world.
Yes.
I said to Frank and Pat, can you put it out there for me and see?
Sure.
And we were able to get really a perfect place.
That's
so,
good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah, you have to network.
That's half the battle is, you know, finding a place.
Yeah,
And then either you get the permit you need or you do like a ninja type of filming where you get in
Yeah.
and you get out. And
Yeah.
that's it. Get it done.
if it's already structured that way.
Right.
But when it's a big when there's kind of an unknown there, when you don't know what you're looking for, I used to just drive. I live in Long Island now, but I used to just drive around trying to get
Right.
inspiration.
Right. So
you know?
what is the synopsis about Don Garbaggio? I mean, obviously it's based on your
Yeah.
stepdad, Sal, but you know, are these like two guys that he worked with that you know of, or you just everything's kind of like fiction and nonfiction, and you kind of I don't know, what did you have in mind when
Yeah,
you were writing it?
it's again, this goes to the whole creative part of it, but you kind of figure I did a lot. I knew who he was, but I never really met anybody who everybody has a passion in life,
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah.
Sometimes it's what you do for a living,
Yeah.
or sometimes it's what you do for fun or a hobby.
Yeah.
And he was he loved the sanitation department,
Yeah.
and some people, that's their thing. And I wrote it like that, so everything kind of worked its way with a sanitation angle, if you will.
Right.
It was
Right.
kind of
Right.
flavored that way.
Right. Yeah.
So if you really, and I was on Amazon a lot. So if you look at, I wasn't working with a lot as far as the set goes because it was just one room.
Yes.
So I painted I had little mini garbage cans, and I had Frank and Pat in like
Right,
Olympic
right.
medals, but they were garbage
Yeah,
cans,
yeah,
lids.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
it's all visual stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, so
And how long did it take you to film that?
we did it in one day. Yeah, we did it one day. I had the
Really?
Raven Disla,
Wow.
young. So Andrew Case, he's an actor from Queens. He got me in touch with Raven,
Okay.
who was a young guy, a cinematographer, and he did a great job. And yeah, it's
So
all
3
networking.
characters,
Yeah.
one set.
One set till the next one.
You know, but it's nice when you keep it simple. I mean,
Yeah.
it helps. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's.
But you need locations, let me know. I know people. You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
I didn't have you. Just so you
I
know,
wasn't on the radar then. I get it.
No.
But after I, I think I was talking to Pat Marone about it after the fact, or Frank or somebody. And, I says, there's places that I, as a matter of fact, Anthony Grazade from Limo Talk has a warehouse in Long Island City. And he was just saying how,
that type of place
that's,
would have been.
it depends on what you're looking for. You know that. I mean, we filmed It's Love Bro in my house. They needed a living room, and I'm like,
because it
come
worked.
on over.
'Cause it
Come on
worked.
over. I have a backyard. I have a basement. What do you need? What do you want? What do you
Yeah.
need? What do you want?
But it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, we didn't. If the character, if there's a sequel to Don Garbaggio, the character, your character that we had you in mind for,
Yeah.
just so you know, this is kind of funny because you're thinking one thing. I had another character that I alluded to in that she pops up at the end. Her name pops up at the end.
Okay.
It was a phone call.
Was it yes? It's I saw it.
Yeah.
She's the one who was complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
That's what we kind of would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I like this though because now it kind of says, "All right, Steve, you have to write the second one."
Yeah.
So yeah. So the background was Sal, and everything was kind of fused with the sanitation theme. And if you look at the little cigar box where Frank hands me a cigar, it's a it's a mini dumpster. So it's goofy stuff, but that's what I was going
But
for.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun,
Yeah.
and it's fun, and that's what it's supposed to be. Hello, it's a comedy.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to take my second break now. When we come back, we're going to talk to Steve about how he got involved with Laughter Saves Lives, because that's a great organization that's close to your heart.
Sure.
So don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
How you doing? It's Sal, the voice of Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Theresa Canastraci Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Theresa on Facebook, Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching Tea Time. I'm so excited because Steve Alleva is here, and I haven't seen him in quite a while. Seriously, it's been way too long. He's an actor, he is a director, he's a stand-up comedian, writer, he edited, we're talking about Don Garbaggio before the break, and this is something that he wrote that's close to his heart. It has to do, with his stepdad, who is a New York City sanitation foreman, and and it's sweet. It was, 3 characters, 1 location, and now we'll see if he picks up the pen and continues the saga, so to speak. And Pat Marone, Frank Fiella, I'll be sending them this show so they know we were talking about them. You want to throw up that pic real quick again, Bobby, of the 3 of them? I love that pic. Thank you. I know I'm like putting him on the spot, but look at that. It's great. It's great. You got the T-shirts and everything going on. And look at the expressions. Look at Pat. Oh my God. He looks like a faccia bruta there. Like he's going to kick someone's behind, like you better leave out your pails the way we want them left out.
It's kind of along that way. We were doing in that we were admiring a picture of Sonny from The Godfather, because he had that garbage can over his head, and we were admiring.
Oh, that's so funny.
The make of the garbage can, not the scene. That was the goofy part of it, So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, it's always nice to work with your friends because you're going to have a good time.
And
you know what they're going to deliver. Yeah, you gel. That's the whole thing. So in 2022, you did My Life Before Yours, and you played Pat, the bartender.
Yeah.
Hey, no uniform for that.
No uniform. Yeah, just Patty, the bartender, and Raven Disler, who was the cinematographer. For Don Garbaggio. Yeah. He wrote and produced it, so he called me in to play Patty, the bartender. Yeah.
See, it's all about networking.
It's all about networking.
If we all put each other in our projects, everyone will be working.
It's true.
Right? It's true. It's so true.
No one does it alone.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. So we were talking about Christmas Eve in Millers Point, and you play Uncle Ronald.
Uncle Ronald.
So tell me about that.
Uncle Ronald, not a firefighter, not a cop, not a bartender, but I auditioned for it. I sent in an audition for it. I got called for it. It was a Long Island film.
Right.
So there was young filmmakers from Smithtown, all moved out to LA, writers. They were childhood friends. They went to high school together, I believe, grew up together. And Ty Taormina, the director, has done a few films already. He's got quite an eye. You'd have to see his stuff to understand. I'm not, I couldn't do it justice if I described it, but he's a real sharp young guy. And they all came back with all their people and produced and filmed it in Long Island.
Right.
And I got the part in that. It was a pretty big cast. It was a pretty big production. It was a feature film. We just finished up March.
Oh, okay. Recently.
Yeah, recently. Yeah. So
Can you say who else is in it or not really?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. Oh, I will say, it was a lot of local a lot of local actors,
which is great.
It was quite of a mix of more experienced and actors with very little experience.
Right.
But it was ultimately it was a bunch of strangers, which is what happens when you on a film. Unless they're your friends, you're with strangers.
Right.
But we all played family members, and it just the way they wrote it and the way it was produced and directed. Everybody just we became
nice.
very close right away,
yeah.
which hopefully and I think it will come across.
It's true. It happens.
It happens.
And how long did you film?
It was about I think it was about 2 months. 2 months ultimately.
Yeah.
It started early February and. Like I said, March or maybe the beginning of April. So,
okay, so you played like the local bartender, or like everyone knows you, or
no, I played Uncle.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Well, Uncle Ronald was.
I'm going back and forth from the other one.
Uncle Ronald could have easily been a bartender.
Ronald, tell me about Uncle Ronald.
It was a family, so I was
just part of the family.
Part of the family, the uncle who cooked, and there was a generational thing. I cooked.
Okay.
And, you have those uncles that kind of hang out together at a family things.
Yeah.
Like in your picture, there's maybe an uncle in there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a generational thing, like the old school uncles and the family and that whole dynamic. But it was really quite a great experience. And,
that's awesome.
Tai Termina, yeah. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's coming out in November of.
Yeah,
I was hoping this year, but 2024.
Okay, all right. So we got to look for that. Yeah. Definitely look for that. And Don Garbaggio, is that on YouTube or?
Yeah, Don Garbaggio is on YouTube.
All right, so you can look for that on YouTube. Speaking about YouTube, you and I worked with John LaRocchia's son before we talk about Laughter Saves Lives, which I mentioned before the break. John Jr., who is an amazing creative writer.
Yes.
Okay, and he does these very funny skits, and we did the garage sale one, and you and I did the Piano Man. We weren't in any scenes together, but it was basically where he takes the lyrics of Piano Man and interviews everybody who's mentioned.
It was so
in
the writing
song.
Incredible.
It was great.
Yeah.
I played the dirty politician.
Yes.
And you played.
I played the journalist who didn't work out for him. Yeah. It was the idea.
Every time I watch it and I watch you, I crack up. I just laugh like I'm watching it for the first time.
I wish 1,000,000 trillion people saw that. It was so good.
Not for nothing, but someone said to me, it needs to go viral.
Yes.
It needs to go viral.
Yeah.
Friggin' it's about Billy Joel, for God's sakes. It needs to go viral. So I'm going to share it again on my page and share it to a ton of places and really try to make this thing go viral.
You were the crooked politician.
Yeah, I was the crooked politician. Yeah, that's what I was. And she was fun to play.
Yeah.
And it was Frank Fiella is in it. And Pat Marone plays my husband in the garage sale that we did.
Yes.
It's called The Honest Garage Sale. But if you go to YouTube and just punch it in, it's hysterical. It's just so funny.
The
actual horse comedy. Actual horse comedy. And then just type in John LaRocchia Jr. because I had to punch in his name with it in order for them to come up. But Piano Man is there that we did, and the Honest Garage Sale, which is hysterical. And I forget. I think I did one more. He did one about apps popping up on your apps. You weren't there for that one. And you're walking down the street, and people start talking as if they're alive. Like a live emoji or something. Yes. It was funny. And then the Forget About It app. Hello.
Yeah.
That was great too. So there's a bunch of them there.
The writing behind it, I mean, you're always going to promote your own things because, you're promoting. But even if I wasn't attached to the Piano Man reunion, I just, and all the skit, but the Piano Man reunion, the writing was just spot on and so funny. I wish more people.
You have to watch. it. It's great. I'm gonna share it, and then everyone else can share the heck out of it. I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Oh, good evening, everybody. This is great. I appreciate your support for Tea Time. I am with Steve Alleva. He's an actor. He's a writer. He's a comedian, producer, editor. He wrote his own short called Don Garbaggio, and maybe there'll be a sequel to that. But you're not on Facebook, like you mentioned before, but you are on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Don Garbaggio Movie.
Yeah. And then I just changed it recently to Steve Alleva. So you probably find
as of today.
Yeah.
Well, because I was like, I couldn't find you. And then I was like,
Clearly, I need some coaching here. But
I don't know. I
what's
was
the
like,
part at the top and then underneath is your name? The profile. My profile name is Steve Alleva, but it's under Don Garbaggio
correct,
movie.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's, like the first thing I'm typing in is your name. I'm not typing in,
I was a really good firefighter. This technology stuff.
I'm so not tech savvy. Are you kidding? I am so not tech savvy.
Anybody wants to help,
at
Theresa.
all.
Yeah.
But he's out there, so it's a good place to see his work. And you and I had talked about reels and putting together a reel, and you
Yes.
have an incredible reel. It's great. I mean, from the first scene, again, just laughing when you walk in the door and you say your line, and you're like, just.
And that was from Actual Horse, from John LaRocchi's son.
That was one of them
Yeah.
too that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Creating a reel is, you have to get enough footage, and
Yes.
it's stressful. Yeah.
It's a job.
It's
It's
a
a job
job.
because not everyone gives you your footage
Yeah.
to make the reel. Giving birth is easier than getting your footage. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
I know.
It really isn't. I'm getting there though, slowly but surely, little by little, plugging away. So do you have anything, we mentioned that you did a show in Jersey this past weekend. Talk about shows. You do work with John LaRocchia with
Yeah.
Laughter Saves Lives.
Yeah.
So tell me, did you know John from the FDNY? How did you meet? And how did that all gel together?
Well, you had mentioned before that you worked for like the electrical union,
Yeah,
right? So a lot of firefighters, everybody knows, I don't know if a lot of firefighters do something else.
Yeah,
Because of our schedule, we work a lot of nights. So,
right.
So, I cleaned carpets. I worked in a deli. I did a lot of things, here and there, part-time. And then the acting started. And there's Steve Buscemi was a firefighter actor, right?
I was going to ask you if you knew him
No,
or
I
ever
didn't.
worked with him.
Yeah,
He's like the most famous firefighter out there, right?
Yeah, I call him like the patron saint of firefighter actors. He was, he's made it and then some. Good for him.
Yeah.
But a great reputation. Everybody, I've never met him. I met him once years ago.
Oh,
but
okay.
Everybody always has great things to say about him.
Yeah.
So that was his thing. When he was a firefighter, he was dabbling in acting and
Right. It took off.
and took off. Right.
You never know.
You never know. And John LaRocchia, I knew of him doing comedy, and I met Billy Bingo, Bill Dennis, that's how I started. He was a firefighter also.
Right.
And there are a handful of firefighters that did comedy, just like there are cops and sanitation, every walk of life, right? So then I met John along the way, and I started doing a lot with Laughter Saves Lives,
And how long
which
ago,
you have.
How long? Yeah, I worked with Laughter Saves Lives and John also. But how long ago was that for you?
When I started, or
when you started with John?
John, I saw on one of Billy Bingo's shows early on.
Yeah.
At Governor's. Yeah, I mean, wow. I said, this guy's pretty good. He's done this
He's
before,
Yeah.
We were all kind of starting out.
Yeah.
And John had been doing it for a number of years.
But how long ago was that? Do you remember?
2000.
Really?
Yeah, 2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're together like longer than most marriages.
Yeah. We are. Yep. And so I guess because it's such a unique thing, because like I said, a lot of firefighters.
Yeah.
Work construction or electrical union or plumbers and stuff. There's not a lot of us doing stand-up, so we kind of all know each other.
So it's like a small family.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who's doing it, who's not,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And
you do a lot of firehouses, right? You do a lot of shows at a lot of firehouses.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked with John a little bit, but for years, and he still does, did a lot of firehouse shows. I was always grateful because John always put me on. Not that I'm a headliner now by any means, but when I was just starting, and he would give me some time, and
we actually did stand up after we filmed the cleaning duck commercial. We actually did a show that night there.
Right at the
restaurant,
at Healy's restaurant. Yeah. That was a great time.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's where we filmed the duck cleaning.
Now you just did a show Saturday. How often do you do comedy?
I don't do comedy a lot. I write all the time.
Right.
Like I'm writing for a radio station now, and
oh, you are?
Yeah, I think it's a syndicated.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, it's called. I kind of mass mailed some resumes, and I was able, and I write for Jack FM, which is
okay.
I think they're privately owned
That's
They have the
cool.
yeah, they're across the country.
That's a great gig.
Yeah, so every week I send things to them. And,
Okay.
I've written for roasts like Jack Black roasts and things like, and
Right.
you know, it's who you know. So
Well, yeah.
you know, a friend of mine got me that, and
Right.
everything's kind of a little bit everything. You know, I'm not doing a lot of
Yeah.
stand up, but we do what we can.
I know.
you
Well, I'm not doing. It's funny because I was at Governor's in the Giggle Room, and I did back-to-back weekends. Both shows were sold out. One I
Beautiful.
produced with Kathy Arnold. The other one was with Dan LaPuma, and it was great. And someone came up to me and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you back doing comedy. I'm so excited." I'm like, "I never left." I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, it depends on who's doing the show and who asks you to do a show, and but I know that I'm doing more acting now than comedy,
Yeah.
which is fine by me.
Yeah.
I mean, my dream back in the day was either, because in the early 90s when I started comedy, either you had your own sitcom, right? Because you had
Yeah.
Roseanne and Seinfeld
Yes.
and Everyone Loves Raymond and Tim Allen and Ellen and Roseanne, and the list goes on and on.
Mhm.
Or you ended up on SNL.
Yes.
And I've written characters for SNL. Like I have like a list
Yes.
of characters that I do, that one day I was like, I'm going to do this character on SNL.
Did you ever work them into your stand up? Some of those characters.
I do.
You do.
I do.
I know one. I've seen
and they
one
go
of them.
over well. That's
Yeah.
the Feminine Douche commercial, which I really
Oh,
don't do anymore.
All
That
right.
was a Valley girl, a lesbian construction worker, and my Italian grandmother, which I don't do anymore. I actually do I end my show now doing Courtney Wilson, who not Courtney Wilson. Courtney Wilson. Oh my God, all my characters, they haunt me. Courtney Wilson is a Southern news reporter. Maria DeMarco is the character that I do, who calls the New York lottery numbers, and that's how now I end my show. But I have to say, I love doing characters.
Yeah.
I love putting on a wig. I love transforming myself and just going for it. I love that stuff. So so a few of the characters I've done on stage, but I've written characters just for SNL.
That's a one-woman show kind of stuff.
Yeah, it
Right?
is, isn't it? It is.
Absolutely.
I know. I have to really sit down and think, because it's almost like how Whoopi Goldberg had her show.
Yes.
Doing all those characters when she
Yes.
first started.
Mhm.
That's kind of like me.
Yeah, I remember her doing that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times that because now people are seeing your range and your personality, whereas they would only see it in certain parts with stand up and
that's
acting.
the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Listen, what do you think?
Got to be diverse. Well, yeah, it's like, because my mother, even till today, she's like, you're going to get a real job. And I'm like, Ma, I said, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when. You know what I'm saying? You just have to keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. I had put a post on Facebook. It's like throwing spaghetti up against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is.
Mhm.
It's I know I say yes to everything because then I don't know where it's going to continue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And obviously, you're putting yourself out there, so to speak. But
you have to.
Yeah, but you
have to. If you're home doing nothing, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and your attitude, you have a good attitude, by the way. And I always remember, like I used to read a lot of, it's a marathon, right? So I used to always read autobiographies of performers, not necessarily the comedians that I liked their comedy, but I wanted to see their struggle, what they went through.
How they got there. Who did you like to watch and laugh with?
Oh, laugh with? I'm starting, excuse me. I saw the Young Comedian special years ago in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was Ray Romano.
Yeah.
And Dana Carvey. Some of the ones you would think of that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at the very end, this big guy from Boston walks out, and he closed the show, and he was nothing like any of the other comics. And it was Nick DiPaolo. And I said, this guy, he reminds me of myself a little bit, but I go, this guy is an incredible writer.
Yeah.
And the autobiography that I had mentioned, and even though I wasn't a huge fan of his comedy, I read Bernie Mac's autobiography. I used to read it all the time.
Really?
And he wasn't, I thought he was, a really funny guy.
Yes.
Wasn't my favorite comic, but I loved reading his story because he won a comedy contest in Chicago. And the next night he was back working in a fish fry place. And sometimes he didn't have heat or whatever in his house.
Yeah.
And one of the customers was at the show the night before, and he goes, "Didn't you win the contest?"
Weren't you on stage?
Yeah, but it just shows that, you continue to whatever you're going
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
regardless of, you still
Well,
keep
we
going.
know most comics out there have day jobs. I
Yeah.
mean, you need medical benefits, and you need you need something to get you by to pay the bills. When you're not doing what you do,
What you love,
to
right?
do. Right, exactly.
Obviously, you love it, and one woman show.
Yeah, you're the third person
Really?
that has
See?
said that to me. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe 3 times a charm. I know my last third commercial break is coming up right now, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Doc, who's the best comedian you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best actress you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best cast member in Bad Boys?
Teresa Farrow.
Who's got the best radio?
Teresa Farrow.
Doc, who's your favorite guinea?
Teresa Farrow.
Who are you loving right now?
Teresa Farrow.
All right, Doc, I love you too, baby.
Love you as always.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tea Time. I appreciate you joining me tonight. Hey, listen, I have to tell you, Paradise Studios right here in beautiful Massapequa. Bobby Lacera, the owner, who I love dearly, is a good friend of mine, and he does an incredible job here. On Thursday nights, he has a live band here, okay? And if you sing or play an instrument, you can get up with them and join them. It's so much fun. And on Friday nights, Steve Alleva, he does an open mic.
Oh, all right.
And from 8 to 8:30, it's trivia. A lot of fun. 2 weeks ago, it was all about horror movies.
Ooh.
And from 8:30 to 9:30, it's an open mic. And we've had comedians, we've had musicians, we've had people do monologues. We've had an author come and read a chapter from his book. I mean, it is like the meeting of the entertainment minds. And you don't have to go to Manhattan. It's right here in Long Island.
It's a beautiful studio.
And it is. And then after that, 9:30 to whenever we feel like stopping, we do karaoke.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
And I whip out a lot of the old songs, like I did Making It by was it David Norton? Not David Norton. Oh my God.
That was a song from a movie or a sitcom or something?
No, it was his song. David, yeah, David Norton. And then a while ago with Bobby here, I did Saturday Night by the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, they had a series. You remember that series?
Yes, I do.
Channel 9, I think,
I do. And then a couple of weeks ago, I had Carol Sylvan here from the group Mystique, who sang Push, Push in the Bush. You remember that song?
Yeah, that was the Elephas days.
Yeah.
Elephas disco days.
She was great.
That's
so,
beautiful. Yeah.
I try to, get some really good, interesting guests, including yourself.
Yes.
Everyone has a story to tell, Steve. You know what I mean? Everyone has a story to tell. And I appreciate you coming in and telling your story. This is how people get to know you.
I would say, of course, we're going to talk about what we do, acting and comedy in our previous careers or our present careers.
Yeah.
But I say to myself, I'd like if I can, because I don't do a lot of this, but never give up. That's what I want to say. Never give up.
No, it's good advice.
Going.
It's good advice that you're giving to up and coming either comics or actors, people in the entertainment industry. It can be very, very, very frustrating. It can be, you get your heart broken, you get your hopes up. My new saying now is let go and let God. All right. After I send out an audition, I let it go, and he's going to do whatever he wants with it. We have no control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We make plans and he laughs.
Right.
He's behind the driver's seat.
But we keep going nonetheless.
Everything happens.
Yes.
The way it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you have shows coming up. They're private shows, but you are going to be doing more stand-up.
Yeah. Working with Pat Gagliotti and Eddie Fayco.
Yeah. He was here, Pat.
Weekend.
Pat was here 2 weeks ago with me at the open mic.
That's right. I always see him at the Pat always
He
does
was
the open.
here.
I
Yeah.
like Pat a lot. He works
Yeah,
hard.
and he's in the Piano Man also.
Yes, he was in the
He
Piano
is.
Man reunion. Yeah, we have Pat. Yes, we're all represented.
Oh my
Pat,
God,
Theresa.
it's so funny.
Yes. Oh, we have to. I hope everyone watches that.
Yeah,
it
we
was
have to
funny.
make that go viral, people. I'm gonna post it, and then everyone's gonna share. Ann's gonna share it, and Michael and Greg and everyone watching. Everyone's gonna share it. Just share it. It's got to go viral. I actually sent it to my friend Michael Longo, who does security at the Garden for Billy once a month.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, someone's got to see it.
Someone's got to see it.
I know, because it's incredible. It really is. And I hope John Jr. eventually gets back into doing more stuff, because
He had mentioned he was going to.
Yeah, it's
recently,
so much
he was
fun.
going to keep going with it. Yeah, who's ever the creative writer, John and his crew are great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, that's what I was thinking of today before I came to the show. I said, I want to say something a little, not necessarily profound, but,
yeah, no.
keep going, whatever you're doing in life, just keep going.
Yeah.
You'll get what you want to get.
No, I appreciate you saying that, because, a lot of people, like I said, get frustrated. They get very frustrated.
Yeah.
People leave comedy for a while and come back, or they'll leave acting and they'll come back. And I get it. Life happens. And, I stopped doing comedy because I had my daughter.
Sure.
And then I went back, so... But now, I'm full force. This is it. This is it. People say, what do you do? This is it. This is what I do.
This is it.
I am available 24/7. As a matter of fact, I am filming. I'm not going to disclose anything except I'm filming a pilot on Thursday in Brooklyn, and I'm very excited about it.
It's exciting.
And again, see where this ride takes me.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Well, it's taking you there, and then who knows? But it's going to be a great.
You never know.
It's all going to be great no matter what.
You never know.
Because you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You do what you love. If you can do what you love, that's where you want to be.
It's so important. Not too many people wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to get to work today.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it is important. And, I made some jokes during COVID of how there were either going to be a lot of divorces or a lot of pregnancies.
Maybe both.
During COVID. And
Yeah.
a lot of people rethinking their jobs and what they really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's all about priorities. It depends on your lot in life, where you're at. I mean, I was a firefighter. So
Yeah.
I remember meeting an actor years ago, and he had a good part in a series. And I said, oh, that's great for you. He goes, well, at least I have health care for a while.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
it's so important.
yeah.
Healthcare, medical benefits, you need them. You need them. All right, listen, we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much for doing this for me.
Yeah,
I
it's great.
appreciate it. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I want to tell everyone, thank you. Thank you again for watching Tea Time. I think I have allergies. I don't know what it is. All of a sudden on the way here, I'm driving here and I'm like, I think I have allergies. It's making me crazy. Sorry. Anyway, thank you again for watching Tea Time. I'll see you next week. Tell everyone you love them. Ciao, everybody.